everybody.
Hola.
We just got out the gym and we're feeling good. But yeah, it's another video. And I came across multiple videos actually. And there was one young lady in particular, she was just talking about she took a year off from going to conventions and cosplaying. And it had to do with some of the negativity. It was people that she thought was her friends, and come to find out they were using her. And she's just like, like, dang, I felt bad. And, it's the stuff that, Christy and I and so many others have been talking about. And like I said, we'll continue to talk about till we're blue in the face. But what this nerd space is missing, what Christy and I was talking about, is genuine connections. Not everybody, but it is a lot of people in this community that are users. Christy and I experienced it when we, used to be on IG. It was some people, that came out of nowhere and we're like, oh wow, they're so nice. Da, da, da. We were a little naive, and later on we found out that they were just using us. We only heard from them when they wanted something or needed something. They wanted us to shout out things that they had going on, and it wasn't reciprocated back when we had things. And that happened a lot to so many other people. But just come to say, like, we just need, like I said, just some genuine connections. Like, be honest. Like, if it's something that you have that you want people to shout out, just be for real about it. Like, hey, can you shout this out? But don't come to people being fake, like you're for them, you're trying to be their friend, but you're really just using them. Anything you wanted to add? Words of wisdom from Christy.
Not really.
Yes.
Yeah, I would just say just being, a little bit more straightforward with your motives.
Right.
I think people can respect that more.
Right.
If you just initially, come out the gate and just say, hey, I am new to the community, or, I'm just feeling confident enough to, display my cosplays and whatever. And, I have products, I have different things that, that I got going on. Would you mind maybe just giving me a shout out?
Right.
And stuff like that. Because, that is a little bit different rather than you sitting here playing a game with people, and you have them thinking that, that you're cool with them, that you're their friend.
Right.
And, people out here, out of the goodness of their hearts, are like, oh my gosh. And they're just so willing to, do whatever for their friends, or at least people that they thought were their friends.
Right.
And whatnot. Because at the end of the day, when we all turn off, like you said, Kendra, the phone.
Right.
Whatever name that you have on your birth certificate, that's who you are when you turn it off.
Right.
All that internet clout and everything else, it means nothing, and you're just, a regular person at the end of the day.
Right.
You put your pants on just like we do, one foot after the other, and you have to go to the bathroom just like everybody else.
Right. And be humble. Like, some of these, not all, but there are some people that had large platforms in the community that Christy and I actually, seen in person, met, and they were totally different than, online. So.
And then there are some that we met that, they still were the same.
Yeah.
But I always have to say, it's a very small minority of people that are actually like that.
Right.
And don't allow the numbers and things like that to get to them. But yeah, be humble. And, especially if you have a large following, be kind to people.
And give back, too.
And don't have to always have, like, a megaphone shouting out everything that you have done. Especially, if you proclaim to be like a follower of Christ, there's scripture that talks about that as well. Because, if that's all you're doing is, just giving back, and you have to do like a whole basically newspaper article on every single thing that you have done, at the end of your life, like, we all have an expiration date on this earth. And you know, if that's all you were doing was just shouting out everything that you have done, and there's nothing wrong with doing good deeds. Like Christ tells us to do that. But if you've done it and you've plastered it all over the place, you've already gotten your reward.
Right.
So there isn't any reward from Christ to obtain. So, you know, treat people how you would want to be treated, and just be respectful, because at the end of the day, we're all just trying to exist on this earth, and, you know, just trying to live our life the best way that we can. And we're all fighting a battle that, you know, a quiet battle that no one else is, or whatever.
Right.
You know, you don't know what battles people are fighting. So just be kind to people, because you never know, that one word, kind word that you know, imparted to them or anything like that may have been that one thing that just was like, you know what? I still have a purpose in this earth, and, you know, I still want to live, because life is hard, and life be lifing, and sometimes it's overwhelming, and it gets to all of us.
Yep. Words of wisdom from a wise woman. But yeah, that's all. Stop saying it. That's all to report. But until next time. Bye.